3 legendaries. They are coming for your Formas this month, and we're going to talk about each one of these builds, what I think their best use case is, and I need to know from you guys, which one of these is your favorite? Which one are you most looking forward to updating their kit or just playing with? First though, we need to get to Seliph. Seliph is really interesting, and if you remember when he came out, this was the refine of the year, but things move fast. We have a lot of daunts, true damage, null C disrupt, healing, and then some pierceable DR as well as miracle, but only if you're above 50%. The interesting thing actually kind of happens with the B skill, and this is more daunts, guaranteed follow-up negation, and an enemy phase brave effect. I said at the time, this really needed to be dual phase. I don't think it would have made this unit broken, and I think it would have given this unit a lot more to do. As is, this is an enemy phase. We won't call him a monster, but that is where he specializes, and he can still be used to great effect. Let's talk about it. I've got basically 2 different builds here, and the first one is the Omni Tank build. Understand, you really need to get as much as you possibly can out of this hero. This is not an easy feat to get him to compete in a day where Ike is the standard. So, you need to cram every bit of DR out of this unit that you possibly can, and that's why I have Attack Speed XL. We'll look at the sims in just a second, but Attack Defense XL would have been much better. This is what we've got though, and the flat DR on special procs is something that this unit desperately needs. Holy War's End is just going to be what you're running this unit with. There is a case to be made that you could turn him into just a regular CAV, but I think without Holy War's End, you kind of lose what's special about this unit. And then we have Odd Defense Wave 4, and I know I'm gonna get some comments about this. Understand, I know that Breath of Life 4 is there. I know that Breath of Life 4 looks like it would be this unit's best C skill. But again, you have to work very, very hard to get this unit to compete. It is all about cramming as much out of this unit as you possibly can, and Odd Defense Wave with the full tempo does that. Breath of Life 4 can be outsourced to someone else. I looked a lot at the difference between the Excel skill versus swapping that out for some form of DC and then putting something in the S slot. But I really think the flat damage reduction helps this unit a ton. It is that important, even if it's just on special procs. But he is going to need help from all of these other units, in particular Lumera. He really needs resistance against AoEs because they are so plentiful right now. As far as the arena build, I'm going to talk less about this. And the thing is, right now, Arena has changed shape quite a bit, and we've gone to a lot of bulky armors because they're the units that score the best, which is kind of weird. Like, this is a different space that we haven't seen in 4 or 5 years. What this unit does really good at is taking out units like Veronica. You know, really lightweight nukes that come in and, you know, the miracle sets off and this unit just smacks them back. We're seeing a lack of those right now. And in fact, we're seeing a lot of melee units, and then those are paired with GHBs. So the value in Arena isn't quite what it was. This is still a fun build. I will say Attack Defense Prime 4 it's fun, but getting him enough bonuses to really take advantage of that is difficult. And the reason I don't have that on the Omni Tank build is because Nurgle is everywhere, and he's difficult to deal with if you have a prime skill. Let's move on to the sims, and I want to point out something that I've added here, and exposure and sabotage seem to be everywhere just because Micaiah is everywhere. Micaiah herself doesn't do a whole lot against Seliph. He does a really good job against that unit, but I do think the fact that so many units have exposure means that's something that we need to be taking into account on all of our tanks. This unit does do a good job against Nurgle. I mean, he has the color advantage. He has dual attack. He's doing really good there. A green is where you start hurting, and Celica is where you start hurting a lot. Keep in mind, this is with Divine Vein Stone, and this is also a plus 10 unit. You can see the troubles you're gonna have here. Now, I will say if you took off Sabotage and Exposure, the matchups get a lot better, but I went through a few matchups and just took stock of what buffs and debuffs he was getting, and almost every one of them had some sort of exposure or sabotage or discord or something else. It's very hard to dodge those type of things right now. But you'll notice the big thing he struggles against is blue units, period. And the problem is Ike exists, and since Ike is red, everyone is using blue nukes. The meta right now, because it is focused on Ike, has kind of taken Seliph out with it. That's unfortunate, but this unit is still good and can be used. I just think his value has dropped off quite a bit. So Seliph fans, can you make this unit work? Absolutely, but you've got to be really, really careful about placement, about debuffs, all of that great stuff, and you've also got to get Breath of Life on him somehow. There is a lot of support going into this unit in order to get him to work. If you're looking at the skills you're going after, No Quarter is probably going to be the special. Attack Speed Excel, we talked about it. That's probably my favorite A skill for him right now. Potent 4 is fun, and pretty much all of these B skills are just going to be for fun. And Odd Defense Wave 4, I am a huge fan of, not only to help this unit proc a special, but to help keep the opposing team from proccing specials. It is pretty fantastic, and you forget how much special acceleration is in the meta right now. As far as the arena bonus here, we've got the attack speed prime 4. We talked about that. That's more of a fun one. Gambit 4 is also a fun thing you can grab. Breath of Life 4 is another skill you can get if you can't outsource it. This is a great place to pick it up. As far as the grab bag and everything else, Distant DR solo is a lot of fun. Most of the time your Omni tanks are going to be solo, so you're going to be able to proc that. Speed Ruse 4, if you have a situation where you need to turn him into a pure support bot, this is a pretty good skill you can get. And then of course, Alarm Attack Defense, which I still think is a great skill on him, particularly if you're using him in Arena, because being able to either rally or do something else and canto back along with getting stats is kind of incredible. It's a nice thing to have. If we're looking at what I'd be going for, it's the Attack Speed Excel, Odd Defense Wave 4, and No Quarter. I think this is a really fun build on him and can make him usable in some different areas. He's just not going to be functioning at the tip top of the meta, but very few units are. So if this is your favorite, I think this is a great way to upgrade him. I hadn't gotten a chance to really get into Sigurd since he got his refine. I was pleasantly surprised. This is a pretty decent refine. You've got Slaying, a guaranteed follow-up, lots of stats, Pierceable DR, Healing, Near Trace, Omni Clash, True Damage, and Lull Attack Defense in the weapon. The special is where things get interesting, and you've got the additional damage, you've got the +1 movement, and the damage reduction in the player phase. Then once you attack, you give out the +6 attack and defense, the +1 movement to everyone, and again, the 40% DR in the player phase. I think the way you have to look at this unit right now is as a survivability tank. This unit is all about trying to stay alive so that he can buff up his allies. And I think if you shift to that, this unit has a lot of fun things that he can do. The two main builds that I've been looking at, you're really going to love this arena build, and we're going to get into it more, but I thought this was fantastic. That Attack Speed Excel skill is, again, very nice. Odd Defense Wave is my now favorite skill to give to slow CAVs. I think it is absolutely spectacular. And Potent 4 on this unit is also really interesting, getting that one extra hit for a lot of the slow units. Keep in mind, a lot of the bulky score bots right now are slow. So you are able to get off that Potent 4 in Arena pretty regularly. That's something to keep in mind and something that really makes this unit stand out. The other thing I have here is the anti-Ike build. I don't have Sims on this because really this is just all about surviving Ike, but he does pretty well. Keep in mind, if Ike can't proc his special, and Flowguard 4 makes that a thing unless Ike has some other toys, but as long as that is a thing, this does pretty good and actually does a chunk of damage on Ike. It's an interesting thing and it's kind of fun. I have to say this is a little bit niche, and on defense you have to worry about so very much that it's hard to fit this in. But I think if you can, this puts some really interesting wrinkles in your defense by giving everyone another movement. That's kind of spectacular and can add another wrinkle of unpredictability for you. Let's look at the arena build though, because I think you guys are going to be interested in this. So this is arena, and first off, he dies to Ike. That's the thing. I will say I was very worried about seeing Ike in arena because I think he is just an absolute monster and very annoying in that mode. I've probably ran into one or two. I have not seen Emblem Ike in arena that much at all. These other folks I have seen a ton of, and the fact that he can take out Winter Edelgard is actually really good, but Byleth and Myrrh as well. This unit can really take out some of the bulkier, annoying score bots that are out there and make himself pretty useful. And a lot of that is because of Potent 4. I am a huge fan of that skill on this unit. And in fact, this whole kit, I would have preferred Attack Defense Excel, but again, we just don't have it. I really cannot say enough good things about that Odd Defense wave. Tempo is way better than I thought it would be on CAVs, which is silly because of course tempo is good on CAVs. As far as the skills I'm looking for, so we talked about on defense, I really want that attack speed excel skill. I like that better, but Flared Mirror is an option you can get. Flow Guard 4 is excellent on this unit for survivability, and Fatal Smoke 4 really kind of hones in on that anti-Ike thing that we're doing. As far as the arena bonus, this one is excellent. That Potent 4 is what really sets it off. If you've got to get one skill on him, that's the one. That really makes this build pop. The others are really nice, don't get me wrong, but that Potent 4 on him does excellent in arena. As far as the grab bag goes, Attack Defense Prime 4 is definitely something you can look at, and keep in mind once he attacks in, he should have enough bonuses that he can now get that prime skill. Assassin Strike is another thing you can do. It's optional. I like these other two better, but if you manage to get that, I think it's still pretty good. And Panic Smoke 4 is actually something that you really like in arena in particular, because there are so many bonuses. Being able to go in, and again, this unit's specialty right now is surviving. Being able to survive and debuff the enemy, soften them up for whoever's coming next is a big deal. As far as what I'm going after, it is absolutely this arena build. I was so pleasantly surprised with this, and I really like the way this ended up on him. That Potent 4 plus the Odd Defense Wave 4 plus the Excel skill does a lot of good and a lot of great survivability things for this unit. Deirdre is going to surprise you because she surprised the heck out of me. This unit has a very definite use case in arena. We're going to talk about some different builds, but this weapon is, for how recent this unit came out, this is not a fantastic kit. You've got slaying and dragon effectiveness, but then you've got a possible minus 18 in attack and res, depending on a res check. But that's kind of fantastic. That is a lot of Daunts right there. On top of that, you've got a guaranteed follow-up, and you've got kind of the Mystic Boost, disabling of adaptive damage thing going on. The special has 40% of units res, and once a turn you get Miracle. And honestly, the Miracle is what sets this unit apart and makes her special. I think this unit could be in line for a very nice refine, but PM1 is telling us that should happen in February of 2026. So, if you want to wait around 15 months, this unit probably will get a pretty good refine. When you look at the use cases, both of these are interesting, so I did sims for both. The first is the Omni Tank build, and this is an interesting thing. For the most part, ranged Omni Tanks have almost just faded into the distance. The one that we've had in recent memory that kind of worked was Ymir, and I mean, Duo Ymir did a decent job at that and had some fun things going for her. Just the meta kind of passed her by very quickly, but I still remember the days when I used my Spring Sharana, so I have a soft spot for ranged Omni Tanks. And this is an interesting one. We're going to get into it, but the thing I want you to take away is the skill you want to get on this unit is Resonance 4. This is an excellent excellent skill on her and does a ton of stuff, the biggest being piercing. So, right now we've got Resonance 4, bonus doubler on each of these, but C bonus doubler on the Omni Tank. She's excellent with ploys, and I think that's a great thing to have on the Omni Tank build. And then the Squad Ace BU is the boosting HP, attack, and res. This is going to be the same setup that I showed you with Seliph. So you've got the Divine Vein Stone from the good old Lumera build that you have there, and the other folks are just trying to give her different things, including Breath of Life. The Arena build is interesting. I've gone full-on bonus doubler 4 here. I really didn't worry about this unit tanking anyone. I just wanted her to go in and absolutely smack someone. And in order to do that, I had to absolutely max out her attack and res. And this is why you see Incite attack res as opposed to the ploy. If you look at Arena maps, usually you have two teams that are kind of cornered, and it's difficult to kind of get in position to be able to use that. It's not impossible, and some of the maps let you do that more than others, but for the most part, I prefer ploys in Aether Raids as opposed to Arena. This is a very nice kit though. We'll talk about this. In fact, we'll go right into this. The Arena build here is very interesting, and I mean, you see, she survives Ike. That's the magic of Miracle. It's very nice, but that really comes into play when you're talking about someone like Byleth, who, I mean, with Supreme Heaven, absolutely smacks this unit. But it doesn't matter because that Miracle takes over and allows you to hit Byleth twice, taking him out. Deirdre hits pretty hard and always has. The nice thing about bonus doubler is how prevalent bonuses are in Arena, so you can really take advantage of it. But she's also able to take out Edelgard and Myr pretty easily. Again, these are the score bots that can sometimes stymie your team, and being able to have a unit that can go in and take care of those is very, very nice. Things get a little more interesting when you're talking about the Omni Tank, and really what I'm looking at here, these kind of make her look better than she is. The thing that she could be used fairly easily if she was, for instance, on a bonus season. For CAV lines, you can still do the whole dual tanking in a lot of scenarios, and if you need this unit to take out one unit, say Celica is going to warp in and going to take out one of your units, so you have to sacrifice them, this unit with Miracle does that job very, very well. And if you're anything like me, Celica drives me crazy. Here's a way to deal with her. Nurgle, I was very surprised with this matchup, but she does do fairly well. Again, Deirdre has a lot of damage output. The only reason she's doing well with Igreen is because of Divine Vein Stone, but keep in mind, even if that did occur where she didn't have it, she would have 1 HP left and be able to take out Igreen. It's that same thing where if you can isolate an opponent, Deirdre is excellent at being able to take them out. The last is Robin, and again, it is not a given that you can take out Robin. Robin is actually a pretty stout unit, and being able to possibly single them out and take them out is quite nice and a good thing that Deirdre can do. But again, I am not saying that this is a unit that you want to take out and this be your sole Omni Tank that you build your team around. But if you're looking for a complement, a unit, because, well, you can cover so much range with CAV lines right now. If you need to dual tank, I think this is a unit that can absolutely help you with that. As far as your Hall of Form skills, I've got a couple different specials here. Flare is nice to pick up, but you're really going to want to use her preference special as well as her preference weapon. It's still very good. It's just a little disappointing compared to a lot of the others in her timeline. C bonus doubler, we talked about it, is excellent. I love Resonance 4, and the ploy skill really completes the Omni Tank kit. As far as the Arena goes, go pure bonus doubler. I've built her more as a pure nuke. It is possible if you wanted to go C bonus doubler, you could do that as well, or one of the other close counter skills. Keep in mind, bonus doubler is not the thing that's changing how she performs. That's really Resonance 4 here. But I will say, you want to be able to squeeze out every bit of attack from her because nukes fade fairly fast. So give her the best chance she has to make it through all of this. We talked about Insight Attack Res, but I highly recommend it. I think that is key in getting this unit to work. For the grab bag of other things, the boost skills are always fantastic. Attack Res Tempo 4 is still good on her. I found that Resonance 4, even at low marges, did better than Attack Res Tempo, but that's not to say Attack Res Tempo is bad. Breath of Life is another thing you could put on her. It's a lot of fun. It would be more fun if you could loop the miracle, but unfortunately that is only once per map, so that is not a possibility there. But all of these are good builds, and I think she is easier to build than the others because infantry ranged nukes really do have a lot. If we're looking at my target, it is absolutely the arena build, and bonus doubler 4 plus resonance 4 is excellent. Again, we talked about the C skill. If you're trying to squeeze every little bit out of it, I highly recommend Inside Attack Res. It changes her matchups quite a bit, but if you want something else that could support your team, like the Infantry Null Follow-Up 4, you can absolutely do that as well as the Breath of Life. This will be what I'm going for, though. I don't know what to say about these upcoming Formas, honestly. I still am in absolute disbelief that they're actually going to give us Nana. I have been looking to upgrade mine a lot lately, and the fact that I could possibly get a Forma of this unit, and I mean, this is all but confirmed that Nana is going to be in September. I think this is an excellent unit, and we're going to have a lot of fun building her for next month. In November, surely they're not going to give us Ninian. I mean, there's no way, right? If they do, I have a lot of great builds to give you guys, and that one is going to be a ton of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. If you are looking at the brand new Brave units, I just put out a video going over each one of them and use cases and where they rank. So go check out that video. Members, you are amazing. Thank you for all you do. Take care and schedule an appointment with your FEHologist real soon.